Rebirth. I'm your host, Shay Marriott. Welcome to the Rebirth on Philly JM's 95.3. I'm here tonight with my co-host. Welcome back.
Hey, he's back.
He's back.
What up? It's your boy Eli Isabel, aka the South. Got something to say? Shay.
What's going on? I miss you, man. You gotta stop disappearing on me.
It won't happen anymore until the end of next month.
What?
You know, I'm gonna be around for the next 4-5 Mondays. Don't worry about it.
Okay, all right.
In a
Well, I
row.
won't be here next Monday, but
I'm gonna hold it down. More on that later. I'm gonna hold it down.
Exactly. Welcome back. Welcome back. And I know you got some updates. You was in Tampa.
Yes. Oh my God. So let me just tell you, I had been to St. Petersburg, Florida, which is across the bay, the Tampa Bay, from Tampa, which is now Tampa. St. Pete is very hoity-toity. I would think it's like a lot of people that wear their collars up on the polo shirt. It's money. It's money there.
Right.
But Tampa, a little more hood, a little more urban. However, I didn't get to that. I was staying downtown, off the water. It was so beautiful, man. Let me tell you something. There were moments when I was sitting there and just having time, because I went for a work conference, so I was by myself a lot, and I underestimate how important it is to just have that quality, that me time.
Right.
I know when you think of me time, you think about women having time, they're doing girl trips and all of that, but I think men, let me tell you something, and I don't mean going to the Dominican Republic or wherever, the trick off spots. I'm talking about just somewhere for some reflective moments by yourself. I think it's okay. I feel great. I feel refreshed. I rode a jet ski. I'd never done that before.
Oh my God! Did you stay on? Did you fall off?
I did not fall off.
Okay, was
I
you
held
going
that
slow?
down. No, and initially,
Yeah.
I was a little turtle dove out there.
Oh my gosh!
But I guess I got more comfortable because he took us out into the bay like wide open, and he let us just go, and it was so dope, man.
That's what's up. I want to
It
do
was
that
dope.
so bad, but I'm afraid I might fall off.
Well, if you do, you're gonna have a life jacket on, and there's a thing that clips to your life jacket, so you can just swim back to the jet ski, so you won't get lost at sea.
Nah,
or
I'll
nothing.
be done freaked out. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'll be done freaked out.
The instructor was there within, he could see everybody. So,
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was one of the dopest things I've done. And listen, fellas, some you time is okay. And I don't mean with the fellas, I mean just some you time. So
Yeah.
I'm back. I got a tan. I feel, refreshed.
That's what's up.
I got a tattoo
Oh, you just went. You
Yeah, I
just was
went down
acting
there.
up out there.
showing my natural bone eyes. But yeah, it was great. So thank you for asking.
Yes, definitely. Welcome back.
How was life without me? Tell me about that.
Oh well, my guest last week was Verdict recording artist Dan Kenneth. He joined us by phone. So
All right.
we were talking about the church and religion and
One of
all
my
of that.
favorite subjects.
Yeah. So he really he had a lot to say. You would have had a
Woo.
ball. Yeah, you would have had a ball. You definitely would have had a ball.
I like shows like that.
Yes,
let's,
yes.
Let's push the envelope. And he's an envelope pusher.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But I definitely missed you. So,
Eyes
it's not
back.
the
Don't worry
same.
about it. Don't
yeah,
worry about it.
absolutely. So, again, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Rebirth on Philly Jams 95.3. Tonight, we have a great show coming up for you. We are going to be talking about relationships, do's and don'ts. Relationship do's and don'ts. So, if you want to chime in,
Yes.
please give us a call at 267-908-3166. That's 267-908-3166. Again, welcome to the Rebirth here on Philly Jams 95.3. So, of course, before we get into our topic, we are going to go to right here and right now.
See, I'm over here waiting. Y'all been on my neck about going too fast with it
That's
right here,
okay.
right now.
We're going to blame that on Tasha.
I finally
tonight.
get my life together over here, and everybody looking at me like, what you waiting on? So, y'all, welcome to tonight's Right Here, Right Now. So, for all my people down in the state of Tennessee, my folks down in Nashville, my folks in Memphis, my folks in Dyersburg, let me tell you something. The state of Tennessee has passed a new bill, and it reads as such. A new bill that passed the House and the Senate unanimously would impose a financial burden on drunk drivers convicted of vehicular homicide. The bill requires a convicted drunk driver to pay child support if they kill a parent up until the child is 18 years old or until they graduate from high school.
As they should.
So,
Yeah.
if you like to get your drink on down there and you mess around and kill somebody's parent, you are now paying child support.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is, I don't know. I mean, I'm not against that bill, but I'm just like, well, dang. What do you think about that?
Well, you know what? As a parent,
Yes.
you know, I think that it's tough enough where you got to, you know, where you're losing a child. Of course, no amount of money is going to bring your child back. But if you are a parent that is already, you know,
Barely making it?
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, so yeah, that's tough. I wonder what caused them to do that. Like, what was the trigger?
I think the same
Yeah.
thing that causes, you know how you're riding around in the community and you say this intersection needs a stoplight. And there are multiple accidents there. And I'm not saying that's the case with this, but if I had to guess, the right person with the right influence got killed by a drunk driver. When people with affluence and money, when things
Yeah.
happen to them, laws change.
Yeah.
Stoplights go up. So because no one, I mean, who prior to maybe something tragic happening, I don't see, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, they come up with this idea.
Yeah.
MAD didn't come up with this. So I would say the right person got killed, unfortunately, and now we have this bill. So I say be
Wow.
careful out there, man.
I wonder if it's going to
National law.
transfer to other states. Yeah.
I could see that possibly happening. I mean, I don't think it's a horrible law. It's just like, man, that's to take on. So first of all, if you kill somebody, then you're in jail. So how are you going to pay child support anyway?
Right.
So it really kind of doesn't make a
Sense.
lot of sense. And I know when people do like get vehicular manslaughter, they don't get life. They, the sentence is normally you're gonna get out at some point. But now you're in the rears with them. Your baby mama got you in the rears.
Right. Right.
You're in trouble out here.
So maybe it was something where, like you said, the right influence, right? And we're going to appease this as long as we have the bill in place to appease.
Right.
Doesn't mean that you're actually going to get the money because, like you said, it doesn't. In a sense, it don't make sense.
Right.
If you're in jail, unless they're going to. It will make sense if you're a person that has a lot of money,
Right.
Then they can, seize all that stuff and make
You're the
it
everyday
pay.
working man. They ain't getting
It's
nothing.
not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me do one more thing really quick. Miss Suzanne, I want to shout out. This was the oldest black woman alive here. Miss Susanna Jones. She was born in Laos County, Alabama in 1899. This is a little black history fact.
Wow.
1899. She lived to be 116 years old, 311 days. So let's shout out Miss Susanna Jones.
Absolutely.
And whatever agreement she had with the Lord, I want that same agreement.
Man.
Let me be around for a little bit. Yes.
116?
116 years old and 311 days.
I'd be like, Lord, did you forget me?
Well, look, I'm going to tell you what she did. She was born in Alabama, but she died in Brooklyn. She got the hell up out of there. 1899 in Alabama was not friendly.
I know
So I ain't mad
right.
at Miss Jones. Shout out to her family,
That's
man. That's
right.
awesome, man. God is awesome, man.
That's absolutely
Yes. So that's it for me
amazing.
right now with the right here, right now.
Yeah.
Tosh, I need my right here, right now intro next week. Don't embarrass me in front of new people. I'm flipping the table over.
So I gotta send a special happy 50th birthday to my girl Stephanie Johnson. We had an amazing time this weekend celebrating her 50th. She's an amazing woman. Her husband and her children, actually, they really did her well this weekend with planning everything. So shout out to you, Stephanie Johnson. Keep doing great things, love.
Yes.
And again, happy 50th birthday.
Wow.
All right. You ready to get
50's
started?
major. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
ready.
man. Mine's is a
Don't be ashamed.
mine's is approaching soon, but
Don't be ashamed. As they say back home, don't be shamefaced it.
yeah, right. So again, everybody, welcome to the Rebirth on Philly Jams 95.3. We are going to be talking about relationship do's and don'ts.
Yes.
Please chime in at 267-908-3166 or drop a comment. Shout out to Jen Marshall. I see you, Jen. All right, so let's get started, man. Why are we talking about these relationships? Because it's juicy. It's always something to talk about. when we're talking about relationships, right?
Absolutely. There's so many ways we can go with
Yeah.
it. And, we all need a little help in that department. We're not all completely
Exactly.
solid.
Yeah. So we're going to start out with the do's first, and we'll end the show with the don'ts.
All right. Let's go.
So the first one is treat them the way you did at the start if you want to see it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Treat them the way that you did from the start if you don't want to see the relationship end. So when you first start dating, of course, we always talk about the representative in the beginning and everything. But when you first start dating someone, you're trying to really hard to impress them, showing them your best self to win them over. If you treat them the same way throughout the whole relationship, it won't fade and it won't get boring. So why do you think that people tend to start? I mean, I know why, but
Right. Let's
still,
talk about it. Yeah. First and foremost, I don't even know if that's realistic. To treat a person, they say you have to do what you did to get them to keep them, right? So, is that realistic? So when we're dating and I first meet you and we're both presenting our representatives and you don't know that I pass gas in the bed and in my sleep and all these things about me that you don't know yet because you're getting the best version of who I am. And now when we come together, now I have to go to work. I'm going 10, 12 hours a day. I got a second job. I'm doing all these things. So I don't have all of this free time like that I really sacrificed to court you. I'm just giving an example. This is kind of how it was for me. Because when I was in my relationship in the very beginning, I would always meet. We would be on vacation because it was long distance. So we didn't have nothing but time because we were both off from work, and that's how we vibe. But once we came together, and then the real world, all right, now, so here go the bills. I have to now go to work. So there's not always time to do all these other things when I'm gonna make sure I take care of you. Not that you don't want to, but I don't know if it's always realistic to consistently give that. Let me say it. Let me preface it with that. I don't know if it's always realistic to consistently give that effort because life gets in the way. Then you have children. Then you have, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it sounds good theoretically, but
So I get that, and I think I'm looking at the basic stuff,
Okay.
like even in my relationship, it started out with opening the doors. Not just opening the door for me on the passenger seat, but when I'm getting in the driver's seat, open the door. When I'm ready to get out the car, opening the door, and all of that. Just certain things that he started in the beginning, and a year later he's still doing those things.
Okay.
That didn't change, right? So I think the basic things, and you're very you're from the South, so you have this what you call it,
chivalrous.
Yeah.
Chivalrous attitude.
You have that about yourself as well, right? So I think that those things are genuinely a part of you,
Right.
and that's how you treat a woman. Sometimes you get in situations where they start out that way, and about 3-4 months you sitting there waiting for the door open, and homeboy already in the
You better get in.
right. You got 2 hands, you better open that door, right? So I think when it comes down to stuff like that,
The small things.
they might be small things, but they're important things, right?
Absolutely.
And it's things that people watch, because every time, it never, someone's always saying, oh, wow, that is so good to see that still exists, So, yeah, I think those type of things are important if you're starting it. Don't start
Right.
nothing you can't finish now.
That
That's
is
my
true.
thing. If you're not opening the doors, don't open it on day one. So I'm not expecting that every time,
But you know what? I think a lot of men do lead. Like men, when we're hunting, we go all out. And especially if it's a woman we're really interested in and we just love everything about her, then we definitely put not our just best foot, both feet forward. And I think that we sometimes set ourselves up by doing that. Because I think if you just a natural, like you say, the small things. Like I was kind of overstating it when you were just kind of basically talking about being a gentleman, being just a gentleman.
Just being a gentleman.
Yeah,
right.
not the other part. I want to look forward with it off the top. However, I think that sometimes we do set ourselves up with things that we know we can't. We know we've never done this for
Right.
anybody, and are we going to be able to sustain that?
Right.
But we want this woman so bad that we kind of start showing, and I think it goes both ways. We started showing things that we can't sustain, and that's not
Right.
who we are.
Yeah.
So it happens.
Absolutely.
But I agree. You
Yeah.
you got to do what you did to keep them, things you did to get them to keep them.
Absolutely. So the next one is do learn to compromise when needs be. So basically, learn to just say yes without anything following it. You will avoid silly fights. You ever been in a just like a real dumb fight and you don't even know how you got there?
Yes, and I was warned weeks ago not to talk about my relationship. However, for the art of transparency, because that's what we do here. Yeah, like all the time, and I'm wondering, like, what the hell are we arguing about? Like,
Exactly.
what is going on?
Exactly, right? So I think sometimes just being able to just say, all right, cool, yes, just learn to say yes without anything following. We like to say yes, but,
Right.
what's the but
Is there
for
more
it?
to women that do the yes but?
I don't know. That's a question.
I'm not making this a battle
That's
of
a question
sexes, I'm
for the
just saying.
audience.
Are women more of the yes butters?
That's the question. Put it in the chat. Are we the butts? I mean, not the butts, but you know what I mean. The yes butts.
The yes butters.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just yes and not have anything else follow behind.
That comes
now.
with maturity too, though.
Yeah.
Like you kind of learn that, like I don't feel like this, so I'm not going
Yeah.
to go back and forth.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to move on to the next one. And guys, if you want to chime in, if you got some do's and don'ts, please, like I said, give us a call at 267-908-3166. You are listening to The Rebirth, and we're talking about relationships, do's and don'ts.
Yes.
All right, so the next do is do learn to pick your battles wisely. Amen to
Woof.
that.
Woof.
Not everything needs to be addressed. So basically saying there are going to be some things that, worth fighting for, the things you really care about and believe in. But the smartest people know, the smartest people know that, when to fight and know when to just agree.
So what? So you're saying that if it's something that's near and dear to your heart, then you
Yeah.
should stand up for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that, for me as a woman that I know, and I'll speak personally, for me as a woman that I know that I worked hard for, and they're important for me, or they're important for, my children, or whatever the case may be, then those are the things that I will fight for, right? But if it's something that I'm just like, okay, I'm being stubborn, I can compromise, then I'm going to do that because I understand that this person is now a part of my life as well, right? And vice versa. So, but sometimes people just won't compromise. They go hard. Nope, nope, not going to do it. Nope. All of that.
So do you consider yourself a submissive woman? With everything you've accomplished and you've kind of been like the head of your household for a minute now, do you consider yourself could you become a submissive woman in it, from a biblical perspective, I guess?
So I think people translate that to their liking. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like everything else, people take Bible verses and they make it what they need to make it in that
Wrapping
moment.
around their point.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, I've never, I don't ever I'm not the woman that wants to lead her relationship. I like a strong man. I like a man, and I like the man to be a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want a man that I feel I can walk over. That's not attractive to me. But at the same time, I also like the vulnerability or the side where you might be strong and you might be a man's man, but you will listen and hear me out and try to get some understanding of what I'm saying.
Right.
But if you're that person where you're that alpha male and everything is just boom, 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 like there's no talking to you or getting you to understand things, then that's not going to work for me either. But to answer your question, yes, to the right man, absolutely. I don't have a problem with that, but that still doesn't mean I can't still be a leader in my own way.
Right.
I just don't want to lead the head of my household if I have a man there that's doing it.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense because I just know because there are some women who are the complete. They wear the pants for lack of a better phrase. They run their relationship, and I don't even want to use the word. Let me take because I don't want to use the word weak. Okay, because that's not necessarily what it comes down to. But I just hate to see men get run over. And it's always normally like a nice guy too. You know what I'm saying? And women don't typically, until you mature, you don't really like nice guys. Am I right about that?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So prime example. Right? and we touched on this. We talked about this. So Ciara, right? So she had Future, who, 8 baby mamas, a lot of kids. That's what she was into. The thugs, the rappers. And now she's with Russell Wilson, who a lot of people consider a very nice guy, but he's corny. He's corny. So I don't think he's corny, but he's corny. And if he didn't have the money he had, would she be with him? Because do you switch your type just like that? She went from, there was no segue. She went straight from Future, thug, baby mama drama, church guy.
But wait a minute. Does she also had a relationship with Little Bow Wow?
He's a kid.
You know
they
what
were
I'm saying?
teenagers.
Exactly.
That don't really count.
Sometimes people don't necessarily have a type. We don't even know. She dated 50 Cent too? Yeah, so,
Thug.
I mean,
image-wise.
I think at some point, I don't think it has anything to do with the money because Ciara had her own coins. She might not have had as many coins as Russell Wilson coin, but she had her own coins. But I think it comes to the point where eventually you realize when you're constantly dating that toxic person, it's toxic relationships, but just in a different body. And we talked about this before, the trauma bond, Eventually, it's just like, look, I gotta make the right choice for myself. Why am I dating the same person just in different bodies? And you have to think about that and look at that and really start to, ask God, well, what is it that what is it that I need?
Yeah.
What is it about me that's attracting these type of people in my life?
Right.
Right? And then, you have to change from there. So let me do the opposite of what I always do. Right? So, okay, he's called corny because, he's not
He's respectful.
and
he's not in the streets.
Right, exactly.
He's not at the strip club wasting his money.
Exactly.
But I don't think that's corny, but there's a segment of women in our community that do.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's corny. I wouldn't date him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you had rich Future and rich Russell Wilson, there's a segment of our women in our community that will take Future over Russell Wilson 9 times out of 10. So I know that's a whole
And those are the
sidebar.
same ones that is always getting disappointed, getting upset and all of that. But why? Why are we picking those type of men?
You tell me. Is it the danger because they seem cool? Because they, you want a little bit of edge with your man?
I think it's all of that. I think it's all of that. I think it's everything that you said. And I also think that a lot of people are addicted to toxic relationships.
Yeah.
I've seen people say matter of fact, I just had this conversation today with a person. Like, nothing was going on in their relationship. Everything was fine. There was nothing to argue about. Everything was just cool. But she said she was bored. She was like, I'm bored. He's boring. He's boring. And she was like, I need to be able to, I need some excitement.
Wow.
So the excitement comes, what they don't realize is it's not a healthy excitement that you're yearning for. So I think it's a little bit of everything. Let's look at the comments really quick.
Look, my whole family on here. What's up, y'all? Shout out to Jen, Dorothy, Shan. Hey, what's up, Shan? What's up, homie? Aja Free, Miss Williams. Hello. So let's go back. Jen Marshall says, I flipped mine, but it was fun. I don't even know what it has to do with anything. Hey, Jen. Oh. Shannon says, what up, you guys? Happy Monday. Eli, good. Glad to see you back. Yes, sir. Glad to be back. Free says, good evening. Hey, guys, comment on this topic. Get in here on this topic. Share some of your input, some of the things you've been through. We would love to hear from you guys. The phone number, once again, is
267-908-3166. 267-908-3166.
Look at that chemistry.
And again, relationship do's and don'ts.
You hit that phone number and look.
That's right. I wasn't even looking at you either.
Look, where I'm weak, you strong.
Yeah, right?
But Shay, you know what? Here, I have a friend. You know him. He sat with us he sat with us on the old show, maybe, or maybe me and Nelly. Anyway, he has a specific type. They have to be light skinned with long hair, you know, a little exotica. And so he was married to someone, you know, that fit that description. They didn't work out or whatever. Has children, they divorced, didn't work out. But every woman that he has chased since that moment has had the same physical feature. At least when he and I were really rocking. That's what I know him to. He had a type that he went for. And they ended horribly. And I remember us talking one day. I said, I think you're just attracted to the outer. Like, we're too old to just be looking at the outer.
Right.
And he really, I think he wanted to have someone on his arm that we could all be like, oh, damn, that's you, dog?
Yep.
And that's cool.
Candy.
But what about the rest of her? Like, that's a small part of who a woman is, or any person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he would meet beautiful people on the outside, but they're ugly on the inside.
Yeah.
And it would just be a problem. So I guess men do the same thing.
Yeah, and I think the opposite of that is now, today, when you always hear about the high value man, a woman wants a high value man. Right?
Kevin.
So it's just like they want a man that's six figures and all of that. But what comes along with that? I'm not saying that everybody that makes six figures, you got to go through a bunch of craziness. But I'm just saying, like, every woman wants that man that's six figures and all of that. So you're going to be in a lot of competition. Yeah, right? So I think that's the opposite of what you're saying. For women.
Is a high value man strictly based upon his income? Is that what makes him high
income,
value?
His status, his connections, his network, all of that. Who he's connected to. Yeah, all
he
of
could
that.
be a rotten person, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So the next one is, do have realistic expectations of them. Think about the things you ask them. Is it realistic or some fantasy you have about what you want in the relationship? Reverse the roles and think, if they were demanding as much from you, could you handle it?
Right.
More than that, are you already doing that?
Yeah, I think that takes a certain amount of self-reflection. And I also think you shouldn't demand anything of anyone that you don't bring to the table. Like, if you're not capable of providing that or bringing that, I don't think you should make those demands. That's just my opinion. And that's what happens when that show we did about the list.
Yeah.
You got this long list of things you want in a mate, but you want 5, you want 7 great things, but you only 3 of those in return. Like, is that fair?
Yeah. Because we were like, you saying you want somebody that makes 6 figures, but you only making 25,000.
Right. Like,
is that
fair?
Is that fair?
Yeah.
To ask.
Is that fair? And and the flip side of that, if I made $25,000 and I only wanted to date a woman with $100,000, I wouldn't get to date her. She wouldn't give me the time of day.
Well,
possibly.
I don't think so. I'm not going to say that. It depends on the type of woman. You know what I'm saying? Because if you a person, if you have, what you bring to the table as a man. Right. Let's remove the financial piece. Okay. What you bring to the table as a man, how you treat her. Making her feel like she's the beautiful thing on earth. The respect, the consistency, all of that. That's what's important. But unfortunately, sometimes women have not grown into that maturity level to understand that is what's really important. Right. They're still looking at the bag and what you can do for me financially. But if you put all those things together and you have the right woman that's mature and is ready to accept those things, she's not going to really care about how much money you make. She's going to care about how you treat her. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think, that's just my opinion on that.
I agree with you. Yeah. That's how it should be. But society has set it up to where a woman can't possibly make 6 figures. There are women, of course there are. I'm not speaking for every woman who does very well. But I think for the majority of women, think about if you brought a dude around that made $25,000 and you have, a nice home and nice cars. He shows up in his little Toyota Camry and it's 20 years old, and your friends are like, well, girl, what does he do? And the minute you tell him, oh, he does this, or he makes about 25 a year, you're going to get automatic peer pressure right there in that moment. Because that's not going to be, whether or not it's fair, it's not fair. Because if you're a mature woman, it shouldn't matter. But that pressure is going to start to mount with your friends. and forget how he treats you like a queen. He rubs your feet. He tells you how pretty you are, and he takes out. He does everything that a man would normally do, but he just makes 25 grand.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think when you said about the peer pressure, again, I'm speaking from a mature woman, someone that really doesn't care about what people think or say, but how that man is treating her. And at the end of the day, when those women that are putting that peer pressure on the woman, when their men they're all gone or they running other women,
right?
Her man's still there, 25,000 and all, right? Still talking about how beautiful and how much he loved her and all of those things, right? So I do think that it definitely comes with maturity and understanding what's more important in life. So, all right. So which one are we on? What did we just do?
We just did.
Which one? Oh, okay. All right. So the next one is
super producer back there.
Do allow yourself to be vulnerable. This is a big one. The only way to emotionally connect with someone fully is to let them into every part of who you are. The healthiest relationships are with people who understand vulnerability is not a weakness. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It is a requirement in a healthy relationship.
All right now.
It is a requirement. Absolutely.
So it's naturally, I'm just guessing. I feel like it's naturally, women are naturally more vulnerable within relationships, right? And men have to grow to trust and feel like they can go there with a woman. Do you think that sounds about right?
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So how does a man get to that point where he can completely give his emotions and feelings and put those things in your lap without feeling judgment? You know how hard that is for a man to do?
Absolutely. And I think it has to be a safe place. That woman has to provide a safe place for him to do that. And I think that's period, a man or woman. But yes, especially when it comes down to men, especially to black men, we need to provide a safe space for them to be able to be vulnerable. Don't provide the safe space, and as soon as they become vulnerable and then they piss you off and be like, yeah, just like last week, you was over here crying like a little... You know what I'm saying? So you can't do that. You can't throw it. Yeah, you can't throw it back into the person's face. But being able to provide that safe space for that man, and in the process of him being vulnerable, still respect him as the king he is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Still respect him as the king he is. If he's crying, don't be like, damn, you crying?
Man up. Stop being a
little
big.
You know what I'm saying? Like, really? Are those tears?
Yes, we have a question in the classroom.
But vulnerability is beautiful. When you are able to be vulnerable with your partner in that moment, it is such a beautiful thing, and it's intimate. It's very intimate.
Yeah. Again, I think it takes a mature woman and a mature couple, because if you've argued with your woman and she has said things about you in that argument, like she knows your weaknesses, she knows the things, like as a get back, as a like I'm gonna hit him with this, as a low blow, that man can never ever fully give that of himself to a woman. So it does take a certain amount of maturity, and man, that's hard. That's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
We're gonna move through some of these because we are running out of time. This is a big one. I think it's a big one for me as well. I couldn't respect it years ago, but I definitely respect it now. Do give each other space when you need it. Give each other space when you need it. Let them have their Saturdays. The Saturdays is for the boys' day without checking on them. Let her go out as late as she wants on a Friday with her girlfriends. As much time as you spend together, it's important to have a life apart. And I'm going to be honest with you. That was hard for me to do when I first got married, because of what I thought marriage was supposed to look like and be. So that was hard. So if my ex-husband was he was saying I was going out, he was going out to the club or whatever the case may be, I struggled with that. I didn't give him hell, but while he was gone, I was sick. I would be literally sick on my stomach.
So what was your ideal of a marriage that created that problem for you? when he would go out?
So I think and oh man, this goes really deep because we have this conversation amongst women. I think as women, we are trained as little girls already to become mothers and wives. And you might say, well, how is that? What is the first thing that they put in our arms?
A baby.
A baby doll.
Yep.
Right? So we're being trained to nurture, how to be a mom, how to be, loving and all that stuff. And what are y'all playing with? Trucks and stuff over there crashing them. Right? Y'all not
aggression.
Right. Exactly. So, growing up and understanding what your role is as a female, what society says your role is as a female, and, what it's supposed to look like, you have this image of what marriage is supposed to be. So as long as I am being a good wife, I'm making sure that, food is on the table every day. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm making sure, my husband is satisfied and all of these things, then there's no reason for him to have to want to go outside of what we are, right? So I think that kind of like came into play as to what a marriage should look like. And then of course, you have, if you're in church, you have the religious beliefs and all that stuff that goes along with that. So I finally found out that really wasn't realistic.
Right.
That even if you were doing all those things, it doesn't mean that your marriage is safe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and it wasn't.
So did you, when you had that mindset, did you not go out with your friends?
I didn't. And Julie could speak to this because this is when around the time I had met you guys. She would always be like, come on, I'm doing a girls trip. Let's go to Jamaica and all that. And I was like, no, girl, I'm married. I got small babies. I'm not going, She could never get me out the house to go.
Right.
And we was just talking about this not too long ago. She was like, girl, I remember that. She was like, now I can't even
Passport on fire.
Yeah.
Can't make you sit down.
I'm always on the go. But yeah, absolutely. And so I think in a sense, you always hear that stigma that, okay, when you get married, it's the ball and chain. I understand why people feel that way because people lose their identity when they get into these relationships and marriages. And you have to remember that's what attracts you to that person. Your swag, who you were before you got married, that is what made you want to be with that person. So although you're growing as a unit, you still have to remain some type of individuality, to make it, for it to be healthy. So having that time, having that space, it's important. And you got to be okay, because at the end of the day, keeping them in the house is not going to stop a person from cheating. If a person is going to cheat, they're going to cheat. They're going to do it.
Yep. If a grown person is hell bent on doing something, they going to figure it out.
They're going to figure it out.
So, yeah, no, I agree with all of that. And I think, like you said, it's important to have your own identity, to have your own thing going on. Because if you're just completely immersed in this relationship and in that person, you're going to end up upset a lot and getting your feelings hurt. So I agree.
Yeah.
Be individuals within the union.
Absolutely. Jen says, I just saw a meme that said you could spend all day with Bae, but soon as them keys jingle, here come the attitude.
Amen.
That's facts.
Amen.
That's true. That's true.
Somebody from Philly Jam says some men are really good actors, meaning they act all emotional and sensitive, but then they're not. Philly Jams, is that what that meant? All right. Crying. I ain't gonna fake. I can't fake crying now.
So I'm going to speed this up a little bit so we can get to the don'ts because we're running out of time. But so the next do is do help them achieve their goals. I think that's really, really important.
Absolutely.
It's very important.
Support.
You want to encourage them. You want to push them, to do what it is that they want to do.
Right.
Again, you guys are individuals. So when you come together, it doesn't mean that he or her her goals and his goals just go out the window. So you want to just make sure you encourage them to achieve their own personal goals that have nothing to do with you. If they want to go back to school, encourage them, support them to do that. The next one is do help them feel secure. Now, this is important.
Yes, let's talk about this.
They should be as confident in themselves as they are you, and it's your job to make them feel safe.
You say,
how do you feel
when
about
you
that?
say safe, you meaning within the relationship?
Yes.
I think that you are supposed to do everything you can to make your man or your woman feel secure. However, beyond that, where does your or the man or the woman's obligation end? And like at some point, you have to. I can do all of these things, and you can still be insecure. So, at where does the man or the woman's obligations to that insecure person? I mean, where does it stop? Like, you know what I'm saying? You can do everything you're supposed to do, and they still a hot mess.
Right.
So, yeah, I think you're right. You're supposed to.
Yeah, but yeah, if that person has their own insecurities, then they have to work on that themselves.
Yes, and that will destroy the relationship.
Absolutely. Okay, so the next do is do build them up. That's important. Do build them up. Do forgive them and help them to learn. Do tell them you love them every day. I love you every day, all day.
All right. I gotta step my I love you game up.
Every day, all day.
I might hit you in the morning and when I get home.
Right.
We step my I love you game up.
So those are the do's. Those are the do's. Normally, because we are crunched on time, I really wouldn't go to a commercial, but I have to take a short break to play this video that was done from the Center for Child Development in suicide awareness. We have had yet another person that is in our field recently committed suicide. And this is the third person within the last couple months. So who is helping the helpers? Who is helping the helpers? And I think that is something that I would definitely want to do a show on.
Yeah.
You know, we both are therapists. We're helping, and there's a lot that's going on. But who's helping us? Who's helping the helpers? You are listening to The Rebirth from Philly Jams 95.3. Please take a moment and look at this suicide awareness video. We'll be back.
Suicide is preventable.
Life can be difficult at times, and there may be times that you felt like throwing in the towel and giving it all up. But I want to say this to you today, and that is, if you killed yourself today, who is one person in your life that would feel utterly devastated and really never able to get over the loss of you? While you may not have a lot of people in your life, but there's always one person that we can think of who's in our corner, who's there for us, that if we were no longer around, that person's life would never be the same. I want you to use that as motivation to keep going. If you're feeling like you're at the end of your rope, reach out to a therapist. You do not have to suffer alone. There are people out there who care about you and who can help you to feel better.
There is help. There is hope.
Did you know that one person in the United States dies by suicide every 11 minutes? Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and questioning youth are 5 times more likely to attempt suicide.
Suicide is complicated and tragic, but it is often preventable. Knowing the warning signs for suicide and how to get help can help save lives. Learn about behaviors that may be a sign that someone is thinking about suicide.
Suicide rates are at an all-time high, affecting men, women, and children across the world. The CDC notes that there are numerous risk factors for suicide, which include, but aren't limited to, history of previous suicide attempts, mental health, including depression, social isolation, financial difficulties, legal problems, serious illnesses, substance abuse disorders, and the list goes on. If you know someone who's experiencing some of these things, it's important to check in on them. Their suicide has impacted many families, and it is an issue that we want to make sure that we spread awareness because we don't want to lose anyone to suicide.
If you or a loved one is experiencing suicidal thoughts, please call the Suicide Hotline at 1-800-273-8255.
Welcome back to the Rebirth on Philly Jams 95.3. I'm your host, Shay Marriott.
Yes, it's your boy Eli Isabel.
And we are talking about the do's and don'ts in relationships. So, guys, thank you for taking a minute to watch that suicide awareness video. Make sure you check on family and friends. If you notice something different, if you notice that their behavior is changing, listen, don't take that for granted. Don't overlook it. Get them some help. Reach out to them because we are losing a lot of good people today. Okay, guys, so we're going to go right to the don'ts. The do's and don'ts in relationships. The first one is don't take them for granted. That's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take them for granted, which that happens a lot. The next one is don't allow jealousy or insecurities to overcome you.
Woo.
You want to hit on that for a minute?
Yes. So, I think let's go back to even further before the relationship, because a lot of that you bring into your new relationship is stuff that you never dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever made you jealous and insecure prior to entering into this relationship, trust me, I don't care how great the person is, it will rear its ugly head.
Yeah.
It will be one little thing that someone either does or says and reminds you of that old situation that you're not over and you're in trouble. The relationship's in trouble.
Yeah. Here's the thing. People are going to hit on you. Exes might return and blow up their phone. You are not the only one who finds the person attractive.
Yeah, talk about
You're
that.
Not the only one that finds the person attractive. But when jealousy arises, what you are really telling your partner is, I'm not confident enough in myself to keep you.
Yes.
Are you quiet?
No. Say that part again. I'm
So
sorry.
you wasn't paying attention.
I was paying
You know
attention.
what?
I was responding to this message.
I said,
I'm multitasking.
when jealousy arises, what you are really telling your partner is, I'm not confident enough to keep you.
That, and I don't even say, you know what? I think it's just you have been through some things and you are damaged. That person can just be damaged. And so, of course, you're not confident. I think it all goes hand in hand. If you've been dogged out more than once, then you really have to do some self-improvement.
He wasn't healed.
Yeah, if you haven't been healed, it's never going to be good enough. It's never going to be right.
Yeah.
So, I agree.
All right, the next one is don't ever stop surprising them. Don't ever stop surprising them. Don't let feelings and emotions build up. That's an important one, especially, I'm not even going to say especially for our men, because I think we do this as women as well. We will hold some things in, and then next thing you know, you talking about stuff that happened last year.
Women. But go ahead.
All at once,
But
right?
go ahead.
So when you let negative feelings build up, what happens is it all comes out at once at the completely wrong time. Take heavy and negative emotions as they come and deal with them right then and there.
And take responsibility
Yeah.
for your, I almost said ish. I know Miss Williams is watching. Take responsibility for your stuff. I think if you can do that within a relationship, like whatever your shortcomings are, first, how are you going to improve these things if you don't acknowledge them and take responsibility for things you don't do well, or your shortcomings? Not do well, but just things you're not strong at.
Yeah.
So you have to do that in order to improve who you are and to improve your relationship. Take responsibility, take accountabilities.
Absolutely.
All the illities.
All the illities.
Take them.
The next one is don't rely on them for your happiness. This is important.
Amen.
This is important. You have to be happy as an individual. Before you meet that person, you should already be happy within yourself. You cannot depend on your partner to make you happy. Because when that person leaves, if something happens and that person leaves and you're depending on them to make you happy, guess what they take with them?
Your happiness.
Your happiness.
Yeah.
Your happiness. So it's important that you're happy, he's happy, and when you come together, y'all just two big happy people.
You know
Right?
what I'll say? I will say this about you. I'm gonna use you because I watched how you moved like when you were single and you took that time to find you. So when you did find a meaningful situation like you have now, you were ready for it. Like you didn't just jump from one emotional situation into the next. And I think that that doesn't happen enough. People need to really people so used to being with somebody, so I just got to be with somebody. I got to be with somebody. I can't be alone. And no, you really need to take that time. So I think you're a prime example of that, and then the good things that can come from it. So
Thank you, Eli.
Yeah, no,
Aw.
I want my children,
So
if
sweet.
they were to have hiccups, take that time for yourself.
Yeah,
man. It's important.
absolutely. Absolutely. This is another big one. Don't try and change them. Ladies, we're guilty for this. We are definitely guilty with this. Maybe there are things they can improve that would make you happy. Yes. 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 There are things that they can improve that can make you happy, but don't try and turn them into someone they aren't because you are unhappy with yourself.
Right.
If you are trying to change them, you don't deserve them. Wow. Wow.
Check y'all self.
Don't try to change them. Don't hide things from them. No, I was just clearing my throat.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was ironic.
Allergy season. Be honest with them, even if that honesty might hurt. The truth always has a way of coming out. And when it does, if you try to hide it, it hurts the person even more.
Right.
So don't hide things. I know sometimes though sometimes people can't just handle the truth, but it's just best that you just be honest with them.
I'm gonna say 90% of the time people do not handle the truth well.
Yeah.
They want it, they scream for it, but
Yeah.
I know you're not built for that thing.
The next one is don't put them down. So build them up in every way you can. Your relationship together is supposed to be the healthiest relationship that you have. I don't like when I hear a woman emasculate her man, and I definitely don't like to hear a man be disrespectful to a woman.
Right.
I mean, if you love each other, you should not be calling each other like names, derogatory names, and I don't care how mad you are. You understand? Walk away.
Still gotta call him a queen.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
When they acting less than.
Right. Okay, so the next one is don't let yourself go just because you have them. This is a big one. Let's talk about this, please.
Child.
Don't let yourself go just because you got them. Still go to the gym. Still eat healthy. Still take care of yourself. Getting them wasn't the hard part. Keeping them will be. Facts. And if you have to take care of yourself, not for them, but because you deserve to be your best self standing next to them.
If you had all your teeth when we met, I expect you to have them all as we progress, as we matriculate through this relationship. Side teeth included. Yes, I need it all. Hey, Shay, do what you did to keep me as you did to get me.
Right, exactly.
I need all, what's it, 30? How many
People
teeth
get
we got? 32?
People get comfortable.
Don't
They
go to the
do.
dentist.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. Though. I agree, but Shay, to that point though, for real, you are absolutely correct, and I believe that. I think that again, I go back to I think real life gets in the way sometimes. But you should not. It shouldn't be from a lack of effort. Let me
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the next one is don't hold your past against them. That's important. I mean,
Their past or your past?
don't hold your past against them. Don't hold their past against them.
Okay.
Yeah. So someone treating you badly in the past isn't their fault. Your trust issues have nothing to do with them. Open up to them about it so they understand, but do not lose your cool because you have things in your past that has left you insecure. That's for sure. And honestly,
Right.
I feel if you do have something going on, then it's important that you heal that first before you decide to get in a relationship.
Reladelic said, "What's wrong with a woman with the gums?" Well, really, I've actually heard that women with only gums. Oh, all right, never mind. Okay, my fault. I heard this. I don't know for sure. You know, I date the afflicted.
I cannot with you. Oh my gosh.
Shout out to Carpathia. Look, I told you the whole family on here with the names. Shay want to shout y'all out, but she can't pronounce none of y'all names.
I can't pronounce y'all names.
But I got
But hey, family. The next one is don't break their heart. No. I'm sorry. The next one is don't be sneaky and look for something.
Women.
All right. So don't look through their phone or computer. You are going to find something you don't like. Even the best relationships have things you are going to question if you find it. And you will find it. And it won't make you happy. The fundamental building block for every relationship is trust.
Right.
You have to trust that even when you are not there, they are respecting you. Okay.
That phone is a major thing
Yo.
in today's society. Lord have mercy. I never seen a little device that can dictate a relationship, a marriage, an engagement, like anything else in the world.
Have you seen those little YouTube videos where the woman grabbed the phone and she jumps in the car and the guy is like breaking his neck trying to chase her down the road to get the phone?
It was his phone?
It was his phone.
Wow.
Yeah, the phones is yeah, that's definitely yeah.
Free says men. You trying to say men looking at women's phone? Listen, whatever you got on your phone, I don't have time for that part right there of the relationship. I don't care about your phone. Like, do whatever you want to do, and that's your phone. I don't care. Like, it's just not that deep to me because if, like we said earlier, you can't stop an adult from doing anything they plan on doing. So take their phone. You can break it and do whatever you want to do. But if he's planning to meet up with, or she's planning to meet up with whoever, it's still gonna happen. So all of that little control stuff like that to me is just that's too much energy.
That's exhausting. I definitely don't have time for that. God healed me from a lot of hurt and pain, and that's not something that I will ever stand for. Like I have to do. If I get that inkling, listen to your intuition. I call it the inner God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your inner God is going to tell you everything you need to know, and sometimes we don't listen to it. You know, if you feel like the person, if there's a hunch, if you feel like something's going on, then 9 times out of 10 probably is something going on, right? So, and then also remember, you can't unsee some of the stuff that you see. There's some things that you cannot unsee, you can't unhear, you can't unknow.
You don't want to know some of the websites I be on.
It's oh Lord, it's.
You look at me differently.
It can be very traumatic. It can be very, very traumatic. So the very last one, guys, is don't break their heart. When you have something and someone good, don't go looking for something better. Learn to appreciate what you have. Learn that the best relationships are the ones you don't give up on. We are in a generation where it's easy to walk away and just give up. Don't do that. Be that story that says we made it all the way, and that's because we never gave up on each other or walked away from the love that we found. Those are the relationship do's and don'ts. I think that was pretty good.
I hope y'all learned. I learned something today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was really, really good. And, you know, a good conversation, a good discussion.
Yes. We need those sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The knowledge.
Yeah. Did we get all our comments?
I think
got
we did. I think
everybody
we're
in?
now. Ajifree says you listen to it. If you feel it, start beating him twice a week. Just kidding, but that's what I do. Hey, you leave my boy alone. He's a good dude.
Love her. Love her.
Let him be great. Jeez, Louise.
Love her. Absolutely. So, guys, that was it. That was the end of our topic tonight. Before we head out, guys, I have to tell you, so I dropped my first self-published book.
Yes.
My Rebirth Self-Healing Journey. And I am so proud to say that the book has sold out.
Damn.
It has sold out. There is going to be another shipment coming within 2 weeks. So if you are interested in getting the book, please pre-order the book. You can go to rebirth_radio. You can find the Linktree link there, or just go to Linktree/rebirthu, the letter U, and order your book right now. I still have it at pre-sale price, but May 1st, it will go to regular price. So I just want to thank everybody who has been supporting this and has purchased the book already. I really, really appreciate it, and I pray that it will be a blessing to you, because it was real life steps that I took in my own self-healing, and I definitely hope that it can be a blessing to you. And yeah, if you don't have your copy, again, pre-order it. There's another shipment coming, and I will make sure that you get your book. So with that being said,
Yes.
next Monday, I will not be in the building. I'm
She
actually
will not.
leaving this week to do a Rebirth Women's Retreat in
right.
Jamaica. Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Yes.
I'll be there till May 2nd, but Eli is going to hold it down. Eli, you want to tell everybody about
Next
the show?
week, we're going to have Passion. We're going to have Amber. We're going to have some strippers here because Shay won't be here.
Lies.
And we're going to turn this thing up. So if you want, no, I'm just kidding. First and foremost, congratulations again on the book.
Thank you.
You getting that what? Roots on you tonight. All right. Anyway, and second of all, yes, next Monday, y'all, tune in, man. We're going to have a former police officer here in the building sitting with me, man. We're gonna and this is an African American police officer. So I think we're gonna get a whole entirely new, different perspective on what it's like to be to police and be African American, what it's like to police the people who look like you, do's and don'ts of interacting with the police department. So tune in next week, man. My guy Jay Smooth will be in the building.
Jay Smooth.
Yes, that's his social media name. So we're gonna go with that.
Okay.
And if he wants to talk about the department that he did work for, I'll let him get into that.
Okay.
But however, it's gonna be a great show, man. I got a lot of questions about this, so you guys tune in next week. Make sure you have your questions and comments ready. Jay Smooth in the building, former police officer.
Awesome. That's going to be a good show.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you for tuning in to the Rebirth. As always, we love you. Thank you so
Yes,
much for
yes.
the support. And also, guys, I want you to know we are on, all platforms now. We're on Spotify, Blog Talk. Are we on iHeart yet? We are on iHeart, and we're on Apple, right? Yeah, so you can hear us all over the place.
Yes.
We've been on YouTube, but yes, the Rebirth Philly Jams, we are building and we are doing great things. So I'm so excited for what's to come. Thank you, Tosh, for the hard work and everything
Yes,
that
Tosh,
you do
good
behind the
looking out.
scenes. We appreciate you. Eli, man, thank you, man, for just being an awesome
Oh,
awesome
man.
person and friend that you are. And man, I couldn't do this with anybody else but you, bro. For real.
You're
Seriously,
welcome,
I
man. Don't make me
appreciate
get
you.
emotional. You know I'm a sensitive.
Yeah, it's
Leave
all
me alone.
good. It's
Let's
all
log
good.
off.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Have
Yes.
a blessed night. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Is it something I did, or is it something I said? Is it something you heard? Is it something that I'm missing? Tell me what's going on, baby. Where did we go wrong? Tell me what's up, baby. Don't give up. Can you just hear my song? It's been a minute since you told me that you loved me. You used to stay home every night, but now you're in the streets. I'm hearing rumors about you creeping with some chick named Destiny. I can tell you how it feels to be lonely now. I'm so fed up with all your lies and you're deceiving me. You act like you don't even remember how it used to be. Like we never existed, like you don't even miss it. What did I do to